Hello everybody, welcome back to the stream. It is I, DIGI Driver. We are doing a late night dev stream tonight, or I don't know, early afternoon stream for anybody on the other side of the world, like my friend Sticky Rice. Hello friend, welcome aboard. You know this is an ILS antenna, and you are correct, my friend. So, a little late night stream action tonight, or a early afternoon stream time for you over in Australia, or in New Zealand, or in Japan. So, if you are in Japan, konnichiwa. And if you're in Australia, yay g'day. Hope you're doing well. I am kicking off a new project for my Plymouth Municipal Scenery, and I am trying to figure out how to get my levels down to a nice, comfortable level. So if you guys give me just a moment, I should be able to get this thing down to size. Is that thought I did? Hold on. Stream life. What are you gonna do? Alright. So, it's not this. At least I don't think it is. No, actually it could be. There we go. That should probably be low enough for us to hear the music, but it not interrupt conversations and things like that. But welcome, guys. Tonight's work is going to be a little bit of a preliminary task for a glide path beacon ILS tower, which I'm going to be using first in in Plymouth Municipal Airport. But if I do this right, I should be able to reuse this asset for any future project that I work on, which is the point, making things that I can reuse to build up a library so that it's possible for me to use these things in future airports. By the way, hopefully you're having a great night or day. Creating Noah's Ark with a helipad. Whoa, man. Actually, that would be interesting to build a library for floating platforms. Huh. That's an idea, friend. Thanks. All right. All right. So, I will think about that for a little bit. In the meantime, guys, really appreciate your support today. If you're watching, if you're lurking, hey, I do like me a good lurk party. If you guys like watching and viewing, that will get my average numbers up and will definitely help the channel as well. So don't feel like if you're starting to watch the channel, you have to comment. It's nice to have conversations with people, but at the same time, if you're more comfortable just watching or listening to my voice or just kind of using the channel as a kind of background filter for you, if you're, doing laundry or co-working or something, that's fine. I'm not offended and I appreciate having you guys aboard. So, welcome. Today I am trying to build a glide path beacon ILS tower, which I've already kind of started on. I just need to start adding more details to the things I'm doing. So, we're creating some very basic shapes tonight, and I have gotten many of the basic shapes already in. You're at the gym. Go get them, sir. Go get them. So, I have what appears to be kind of like the support building or extra hardware for the tower, behind the tower. And I think it's about 4.5 to 5 feet tall. So let me go ahead and lift this up off the ground. How about this? Yeah, we'll do what we can. But let me go ahead and figure out how big this is supposed to be. I would say it's probably going to be about 6 feet, 6 feet long. So let's do this. Actually, that's actual 6 feet. Okay, not 6 feet then, probably 10 or 12 feet, which would probably make more sense. Okay, I am of course also going to push it back from the build, not the tower. Yeah, there we go. Stream speak, it's a thing. Looks like, let's see, 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, probably about 8 feet away. And let's see, we're dealing with Y. So let's do 8 feet for location. Okay, so let's double that up and do 16 feet. And take about 4 feet away, maybe 14 to 12 feet. No, it's got to be like 14, 15 feet distant from the tower. And that seems like it makes sense to me. Seems a bit disconnected though, so I'm going to pull it back just a touch. Try 14 feet for now. That feels a bit better. That feels a bit better. 5, 10, and or 20-foot sections with obstruction painting factory applied. These sections are erected in the field to a maximum height of 60 feet. Okay, okay, that makes perfect sense to me. The one that we're going to use for Plymouth Municipal is probably going to be 25 feet. It's used for general aviation traffic, and there's only one ILS, I guess, equipment rig that exists, because I think only runway 6 is ILS enabled, I believe. But this is the very first tower we're making, and we're gonna have a good time doing it. Let me go ahead and get my other screen open so I can catch convos in chat as well, and we should be able to move. I'll probably be streaming for about an hour tonight, maybe 45 minutes. I'm not going to go too far past midnight my time, because I've been getting in the habit of wrapping stuff up at my place earlier than I used to. Any of you guys that have been around since the past year know that I used to go to like 1:30, 2 in the morning. I'm dialing that back now because I'm trying to get started earlier in the day, and I'm trying to wrap up earlier, which so far has actually been more favorable than what I used to do. It's not that I don't want to push it hard for the business, it's just that at the same time, I need to, reserve my energy and be wise about how late I stay up or what it is that I'm pushing for. Which, in one way, my vacation kind of helped, because the difference in bedtimes for me when I came back from Alaska has like benefited what I do right now. But that is that for now. Let me add another polygon, and this is when we're gonna kind of start having fun with this. Let's see, Shift C. Is it Control C? Oh. I forget how you actually center it all the way back to the beginning, but I'm not worried about it right now. So, we will do what we can. Kind of feels good to be doing scenery development in Blender again after I don't know how many months that I've been away from stuff like this. It's kind of amazing just how much flight simming I've actually been doing ever since probably about late May, early June. I mean, I was doing some scenery dev, but at the same time, it was almost like I was a little afraid to jump back into it. I'm glad to be back in. Jared.dev, thank you so much for stopping by. God bless you, brother. It's a privilege having you here, my friend. Folks, if you don't know Jared.dev, Jared.dev is an amazing, amazing guy doing some flight simming, and actually doing some real world flying. Student pilot, working on getting his pilot's license and working on some big moves for him and his family. So if you haven't taken a moment to follow him, please take me up on my recommendation. Feel free to go check out jared.dev right now and give him a follow and just check out his content. If you like flying, if you like general aviation, if you like learning about some of the things that they do on when he flies on like Pilot Edge, I promise you, you're probably going to walk away learning something. So thank you so much, jared.dev, for stopping by tonight. I'm building things in Blender, and I want to build the next pylon. Fortunately, because I already have some things rigged, I can actually build the next piece right now. So in one sense, I am kind of starting to gain some momentum here. Oh, you got it, my friend, you got it. Welcome aboard, glad to have you here. Let's turn this into what kind of dimensions? What kind of dimensions would I say? I would say a 6 or 7 foot pole, and I would say it's about 2 or 3 inches thick. Yeah. So let's make it 3 inches thick. Square. I mean, it could actually be a cylinder that does the support for this, but I don't know for a fact. So we're gonna do the best we can. And this is kind of part of what I'm trying to do. Also, folks, please do me a favor. If you haven't already done so, there's somebody that I've been paying attention to that has been coming up in the biz on flightsim.to. One of my very good friends, SG Child, has begun posting content on flightsim.to, and if you have not done so, please go check them out. They're about to release a new airport overseas on flightsim.to in the next few days, and already released Ottawa Carp Airport out of Carp, Ontario, Charlie Yankee Romeo Papa, which I'm going to download probably after I'm wrapped up with my stream tonight, just to chill for a few minutes before I wrap things up for the evening. But here we go. Eric Flight, my friend, welcome aboard. Folks, if you haven't already done so, do yourself a favor, go follow Eric Flight right now on Twitch. Eric Flight just wrapped up a stream this evening and is my very good friend and the inspiration for and the motivating factor behind my Kilo Papa Yankee Mike scenery. So today, Eric, we're actually doing some work on the antenna array, if you will, the glide path beacon ILS tower. There we go. Whew. That's a mouthful. I'm going to say this is the ILS building for things related to ILS tower. All right, so let's get some things done, shall we? This is probably going to be about 7 feet tall because of the angle that it's going to be at. And it's going to be, I want to say, about 4 to 6 feet off from the base, the 6-foot point of this tower. So I'm almost going to make it 8 feet deliberately just because of the angle work that we're going to be doing. So let's rotate this, I want to say probably about 30 degrees. And probably 30 degrees on the z-axis as well. And is that it? Yeah, there we go. There we go. Slowly high school trigonometry and geometry is coming back. I think it's more geometry than trig, but if I was gonna get like super serious into this, then a, a basic knowledge of math I think is gonna wind up being a big time help. All right, I'm probably gonna keep it right here, and we're gonna raise this up until about the 6 foot point, and I can already tell 8 feet was definitely a conservative guess because it needs to be stretched out some more. I like that angle, so we're going to keep stretching it. That was 8 feet. Let's try 10 feet. Actually, that's too much. That's okay. Let's bring this down. And I'm going to put this at kind of like a ground level. We're gonna put this right by where I see the ground. One day I'm gonna wind up figuring out a way to keep my object placements completely flush with the ground or pretty close to it. But until that happens, I'm just gonna, make the best guess I can for object placements, and I'm not gonna worry about it that much. And essentially, in the meantime, I'm gonna have as much fun as I can. I suspect I probably won't even need to make this 3 inches solid as a support. I could probably make it like a foot and a half. No, an inch and a half. But again, this is just idea one, night one, build one. This is literally the start of the tower. So I'm here to tell you, if a guy like me can make airports for Microsoft Flight Simulator, you can do it. You can probably do a better job than me. Okay, so I'm probably going to create supports for this, but for right now, run one is going to be very simple, and I'll wind up creating the other objects a little bit later. So we've got this building set, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to create maybe some lights, but that's probably iterations 2 and 3. Now that we have this built, I don't quite know what I'm going to do. I might keep this tower outline and then just inset the sides and get rid of the faces in the middle, or I might delete the faces and then create some poles so that they actually, put some new objects in here as an outline. We'll call this tower support. I know it looks like really simple right now, but kind of like the beacon tower that I had at Plymouth, it can get really complicated and really detailed really fast. So let me focus on this. Let's see what's going to work the best. What I could probably do is inset the faces and then kind of wrap them around the corners. Or I could do something else. Let's see what we can do. Let's grab the inset tool. The thing that I don't like about inset for something this tall is that the faces that get created are going to be borked right off the bat. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Talked about that. I fully support that statement. It's going to be something which is going to pay off in spades once we create a really good model of it the first time. I think I know what I'm going to do. Okay. We are going to copy this tower outline, and we're going to take the first kind of donor shape one, and we're going to move it out of place. We're going to make this a quarter of the, actually probably an eighth or a twelfth of the width of this. So let me think. I made this, I want to say I made this like 2 feet square in terms of area. Yep, that's exactly what I did. So 2 feet divided by, say, 8 would be, taking it into eighths, divided in half, that's 1 foot, and half again, that's 6 inches, and half again, that's 3.5. So would that actually make sense? I think so. I think so. Let's try this. Let's do 3.5 inches. Well, that seems a bit too little for the outside edges, but never mind. The whole point of getting started is to make mistakes. So now we kind of have an idea of where this should go. And this is actually the same height. We just need to move it into position. And to make things easier to see, we're going to hide the other attachments that we have for the tower, and we're going to move this into place. What I'm probably going to do is I'm going to slightly outset them or inset them so that I see where they stand. And if I inset them, it's probably going to work better for me. I already like the way this is going. This is super cool. And it's like, Digi, what are you talking about? What are you doing? Like, all I see is a bunch of rectangles, and this does not look exciting. And you would probably be right. Scenery dev at the very beginning, at the onset of a project like this, looks super boring. Like, I'm not even joking boring. Like, it's like, 11:49 p.m. and I'm hearing some dude go on about building a beacon tower. Like, what? I'm sorry, I gotta go. I wouldn't blame you if you did. It's okay. It's okay. There's way more uh culturally relevant content out there. I get it. I get it. But if you, like me, like to look at the way things are made, then by all means stick around, because a project like this has the potential to get very detailed very quickly, or at least more quickly than you'd expect. And if you don't believe me, I mean, there are probably a few people that can tell you just how quickly the rotating beacon project went from being just several slabs of rectangles to a animated tower with a weather device and a rotating beacon, which I still have to slow down, by the way, Eric. I stopped to do that, but still, it's definitely been an adventure. And because I'm super lazy, I'm probably going to grab the both of these and copy them at once, and then we're going to move them down. So we're going to call this one tower shape 3 or donor shape 3, and this one donor shape 4. And if you didn't already know, I'm probably going to take these and move them over. And I can do that just by sliding them. Here we go. Now, let me think. Did I cause problems for myself? I don't think I did. I know there's going to be other supports for the tower. This is going to be a see-through um, beam tower, which is going to hold some, instrument thingies, which are basically these guys, and set it up on the side of the runway. You make scenery, you say you're super lazy? If you only knew. Well, I mean, there are probably ways to do this which are way more um, correct, for lack of a better phrase. But in one sense, it's like, oh, it's like, oh, Digi, you're not going to go fly a 747, or Digi, you're not going to fly into Paro, or Digi, you're not going to fly out of like Amsterdam or JFK. You're not going to go fly in LAX, and you're not going to go fly to Denver. What's up? Well, the reason why, folks, is because I'm kind of a retired flight sim streamer, and I'm more a flight sim scenery creator. I like streaming the process, and I like showing you guys some of the steps that I take, because if any of you are curious about actually beginning this, I can tell you it's possible to do. It just takes a time commitment, and it takes the determination and the passion to want to do it. You can do it. It's just going to take you some time. So now that we have these bits in place, what I might be able to do is to totally get rid of this tower. I'm probably going to hide it for now. And so there we go. Remember that support that we had before? That support has now connected to the tower, and it's kind of jetting out the side, which I don't like per se. So what did we say? We said it was like 2 or 3 inches across. Oh, I set it up for 2 inches. I'm sorry, I set it up for 3 inches. Let's make it 2. And again, this is totally a prototype build right now. So do not be surprised. Do not be surprised if we start adding more and more features to it. And already you can tell that this is going to be the thing that holds those pieces in place, including whatever the bottom attachment is. I've got to do some studying on what this actually all does, but for now, I'm just going to have fun with it. The supports, like my friend Sticky Rice mentioned before, they're procured in 5, 10, and 20-foot sections. Assuming this is actually a 25-foot tall glide slope antenna tower, then that means whenever you get to about the 5-foot section, we're going to add a kind of ring to the actual piece. So I'm going to reuse the tower, and we're going to fork another donor piece from this, which is going to represent the horizontal supports. So let's go ahead and copy and paste a new donor section. And what are we going to call this? We're going to call this Tower Horizontal Support 1. which is no more, no less. Basically, we're going to create rings. So to do that, we need to make this really, 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 really small. Let's make this 0.1 and then bring it up. And I need to indent the shape. In terms of height, I think I absolutely nailed it, which is very good. Or at least I'm happy about the placement. How do we indent this? Well, as it turns out, this is superb. That's pretty close. I think I'm happy with that. Okay, so what I could do is I could keep this and then inset it through the bottom. So we're going to do the same thing with the bottom side. And that is just about spot on. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. There we go. We'll try it again. This is pretty close to absolute perfect. And I'm going to take this and run with it. So what that means is I'm probably going to inset the centerpiece by extruding it through the bottom. Bloop. Okay, and this is just kind of an idea of what it could look like. It's a little bit outset through the bottom. Not to worry, because we're probably going to get rid of that. The question is, do I want to keep that work? Or do I want to, like I did with the other pieces, create separate parts which make that base? I don't know. But assuming that these towers actually need to be at least slightly solid, I think I'm going to stick to my current plan, because the horizontal support is going to be something I'm going to copy and establish roughly every 5 feet. And I think we can get rid of, let's see, can I get rid of the face? I don't know if I can. I think I need to really get up close here. This is going to be a little yucky. Actually, we might be okay. Let's see, we got rid of the overlap. Oh, that's what happened. Alright, let's get rid of the undo operations that we did. Did I get rid of the other side as well? No. Alright, let's start over. Okay. That was still when we had everything in set, so that's fine. That is fine. Let's get rid of this. And get rid of the bottom part here as well, because we need to see, you know, it needs to be open. Air needs to flow through here. So there's a few ways to actually fix this. One way that I know how to do this is to, I think, take the vertices for the two different segments that I want to merge, and I think I have to select them both, and then I have to merge the parts together. Or I can try to approximate them as much as I can and then kind of hide the inner edges inside of each other. Now that kind of works, but at the same time, it's probably not going to be an issue for the really small objects like this, but on much bigger buildings, sometimes that might cause a problem, or at least I'm guessing it might cause a problem. So hopefully what I'm going to try doing with this won't be too much of an issue, but only one way to tell. Okay, so I know I can hide it in there, so that's fine. Also, I'm probably going to select all the edges at once so that I can raise this up into the existing structure without an issue. It's a little disorienting, sorry about that. Okay, so let's get below it and see at what point it disappears. Oh, actually, it would appear that these edges are actually going to not show it anymore. So actually, there's a little bit of a benefit to keeping it just outside of it. Almost looks like a bad cut. Ghost Miner, hello, my friend. Welcome aboard, folks. Welcome aboard to Ghost Miner, one of the friends of the stream and fellow flight sim streamer, as well as a little bit of a variety streamer. I saw Ghost Miner playing Skyhaven earlier this afternoon, and it reminded me of my days doing city management games like SimCity. So, welcome aboard, friend. Glad to have you. You just got back from work. Okay, yeah. Hopefully that turned out okay today. All right. I wonder if I can get away with. I might be able to. Okay. Let me see what that tower looks like. I'm probably going to lift the tower just one click. Bam, just like that, so that there's no Z fighting. And now we have a kind of external ring, and now we can copy that going down it. It went well, great. That's fantastic, man. Very happy for you. Very happy for you. Let me take a look at the model.
Brace yourself.
Hey, Kaon rating with 14 raiders. Hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. Definitely not expecting this raid. Hopefully you guys had a great time on Kaon's stream. I know I was on Kaon's stream for a little while, hanging out and watching him play Might Magic. Kaon, if you guys don't know, is one of the friends of the channel and also a fellow Twitch streamer. And he is on a NES quest to play through, if I get this right, every North American Nintendo title. So if it's like a Nintendo of America branded title, he's playing through it. And he's gotten pretty far. I forget what number game he's at right now, but he's getting closer and closer to getting ready to beat his 200th game, which is nuts. That's amazing. It's utterly amazing. If you guys like the Nintendo Entertainment System at all, if you like classic video gaming, and you have a curiosity to see that, I would highly recommend you guys go check out Kaon's channel. If you haven't already done so, Please do. Number 195. So you beat, wait, you beat 195 or you're on your 195th game? And yes, Atlas, welcome aboard, my friend. Hey, good to see you. We are building a tower, an instrument landing system, glide path beacon tower. And it doesn't look like much right now, but by the time I get it ready to put in the scenery, it will actually look a lot better. So it looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, which will make me think for a 25-foot tower, divide that by 4, 1, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ah, there we go. There we go. I think rings every about 5 feet. Oh, you're right. I'm on 195. I mean, I'd forgotten. I'd seen the number go up, of course, but I'm glad to see you, making progress still. I mean, there were some games we played through um, the past few years and this year where it took a while to get through it. So you got it, my friend. So let's go ahead and decide where these are going to go. And we're going to go ahead and copy. This is where we actually say where stuff goes. We're going to create I think the 5th support, which is going to be all the way down at the bottom. And this one's going to kind of be just off the bottom of the design. Just enough, I think, for the tower supports to make sure they fasten to the base, which I haven't built yet. And again, the beautiful thing about me making this for the first time is that I get to make as many mistakes as I want to and, try to enjoy the process. I'll admit, there was a point when I was doing scenery dev late last year and early this year where I started to let the desire to make incredibly good models get in the way of me actually creating stuff. And it's like that artist complex. Hey, Keon, have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And thanks again for the raid. Really appreciate it. I was saying, like, you get to a point where you wonder if you're doing any good, and you have difficulty accepting the quality of your work. But I keep trying to remind myself, and I don't always succeed, but I keep trying to remind myself, you're going to have to um, embrace the fact that stuff is not going to come out perfect all the time, every time. Just acknowledge it, like embrace it, and learn from your mistakes and grow as an individual. And I guess that progress is just going to come. All of us just want to get better really quickly. I know I do, but I think eventually it'll happen. But I think the benefit of having these separate objects is, even if I bork the positioning of 3 or 4 out of the 5 rings that we're setting up right now for support, I can always slide them around later. And I think that's part of the fun of building 3D objects. For me, anyway. Getting to the point where I understand, hey, this needs to be in a different position, this needs to be higher, this needs to be lower. Once I get them all here, we can move them around. And I think creating the 4th one is going to really give us a good idea of what it is that we're actually creating. Oh, I didn't click in the right spot. There we go. Now I have. Let's move it. Alright, so here is the problem. Let's make this 2D. I want to make these consistent, or at least consistent enough. And I can always keep taking a look at the actual object and decide, oh, hey, this is supposed to go here, or no, this is wrong. And if I take a look at this, they look fairly symmetrical. Maybe I'm wrong. There we go. That's kind of sort of not bad. That's pretty neat. So, again, right now, this doesn't look like much, but strange thing starts to happen when you start adding more detail. It really kind of picks up. What I could probably do is draft the next phase of this really quickly just to give you guys an idea. But I might not do that. I might create the lights, which are going to basically be their own beacons for the tower and for the building. And that's kind of more fun for me because number one, I need those lights, and number two, I'll need to, what am I trying to say? I'll need to render them. Or should I use light sources from the sim? Okay, I'm not worried about that right this instant. You're comparing to the photos you sent. Nice. Rock on. There's going to be imperfections, and it's going to be maybe a little bit off ratio, but for a first render, for a first attempt, for the beginning of the project, I'm happy with the progress. So I need to be a bit further back so I can actually render the stuff correctly. Let's add a cylinder. And this is going to be the container. Now, the cylinder needs to be, I'd probably say about 2 inches in diameter. Or should it be 4? No, you know what? Let's try 3. Okay, so we're going to put 2 lights on top of this antenna, or this this array, so to speak, and this is going to be way up top here. 0.25 maybe? No, it's still a bit too big. The entire assembly should probably be about, what do I want to say, like 3 inches, 4 inches tall? Let's try 4 inches tall. 4 inches tall? About 6 inches tall. That's about right. That's an interesting point, actually. I might want to create them as a separate model. For tonight, though, I'm just going to build something which is going to be a placeholder, and then I'll know to build the separate bulbs more easily. This will be an alternative to the lighting, which is already available as a default object in the sim, the taxi light bulbs and stuff like that. But for tonight, again, this is just a very, very basic rig. And I think it has like a simple, even smaller pole support. So we're gonna go ahead and do tower beacon light 1, and we're gonna break this up into a few objects. We're gonna say main assembly. In the mini-assembly, eventually is going to have a separate piece for the transparent part up top where the light's going to shine through. And then we're going to copy and paste this, and this is going to be the assembly support. Okay, so instead of this being like 3 inches, we're going to make the assembly support 1 inch wide. And we're going to make it probably about 2 inches high at the most, which means it's probably not going to be very high or very far off from the actual assembly. Okay, this is probably just a little bit off, just a touch off. So we're like about an inch off the the main tower. Let's go ahead and lower this in. Okay, so we have 1 and 2. Let me see. The layout kind of puts it on the exact corner of one side and on the middle side of the other. So I'm not sure what the rationale is for that, but I'm not going to challenge it. Let's go ahead and copy both of these. And bam, here we go. All right, I just gotta go ahead and grab these and move them over. It's hard to move exactly unless you know exactly how to move them. Hey, did you catch that? Yeah, I can't do it that way. It's gotta be done when both of them are selected. And again, this is literally a rough draft of the entire assembly. You know, if you're doing this and you find yourself starting to get critical about exactly placing these objects or the prototype, you know, similarities of these objects, don't worry about it. Don't stress. Just do the best you can and enjoy the process. And I know I need like 2 more of those lights, so I can copy both of these and I can paste them on the support building below. So we're going to grab all of these, and it's easy for me to do because they have the... Oh, not all of them? That's weird. I thought I copied them all. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. There should be 4 that we're copying. Oh, of course, I'm moving 2 of them, not all 4. Silly Digi. Okay, so once we get these down on top of the support building, we should be able to position them wherever we want them to go. And let's see, right about here, we should start to see them sink in. Okay, at least that side sinks in, so that's good. All right. So, pretty close to where I want them to be vertically, and that should do it. Fortunately, these are going to be way more traditional in placement. No, I want them both. Hello. There we go. That's what I forgot to do. All right. Let's chase this all the way to the end. And then we can pretty much leave well enough alone for tonight and for the beginning of the glide path beacon ILS tower thing, which we've begun this stream. The start of a new adventure. And all things considered, honestly, for a late night stream and a start to the project, I'm pretty happy with what we've done today. All right, so these two are together, so we're going to call this one number 3. And this one's going to be 3 again. And the other one will be 4. It'll be before. Before what? But I'm happy. I really am happy with this. So, do the best we can. I think that's actually good. So, we've got what I believe is going to be a building for the additional or hidden ILS equipment, maybe the weather or air sensitive equipment. A support for the tower, which is actually one of 2. So I need to actually duplicate this. I might duplicate this tomorrow night, or we might come back to the stream, put this on the other side, and then we'll start working on the next level of detail. And again, a whole bunch of stuff with regards to the front of this, which I don't understand how it works, but whatever. It's the beginning of the project. I'm happy. And there you have it. Let me go ahead and save this. And we have the glide path beacon ILS tower project saved. It does not look like much right now, but once we start adding supports, cross beams, you name it, it's going to start coming to life. To say nothing of the fact that there's a whole entire section inside this thing which we have not rendered. Probably the center pipe, which is going to be required, and I look forward to seeing this thing really come to life. I don't know if I'm going to make an interior for this. I probably am not going to, because I'm guessing this building really does have all of the inner workings, and by inner workings I probably mean things that might make you not feel so well after being in front of them. Maybe radar, maybe, you know, a whole bunch of electronics or high voltage stuff. So that being said, I think we're going to go ahead and call this version done. Let's go ahead and save it. I will make backup copies tonight. And in the meantime, folks, if you're curious and you want to follow along, there are a couple of things. Number one, we can probably give you guys the Discord link if you want to join in. I'll put that in chat, and then you guys can actually join and be a part of the journey. We can probably do stuff like this twice or 3 times a week. I may not be on the microphone for the other 2 episodes during the week, if that's the case. In fact, I usually am only on the microphone once a week for Senior Redev, just to catch you guys up. The rest of the week, I'm probably going to do late night streams or evening streams where I do senior redevelopment with no microphone, just kind of sharing the experience and answering questions as I see them in chat, as I pay attention, because many times I'm just going to go off on a tangent. Or not a tangent, but I'm gonna stay focused to create a piece or finish a project, and I might not notice the chat for a little bit, but I make it a point to announce or mention the kind of stream that it is, just so you guys don't have any, so you guys know the kind of stream that it is at the moment. So, that's about it. Guys, if you like what you see and you're interested in becoming a supporter of the channel, I do also have a support arm through buymeacoffee.com. So you can go to this link to make a donation or consider becoming a part of the crew. Um, just make a donation for now if you want. If you don't want to be a member, if you don't want to be a con- a, a continuously contributing subscriber outside of Twitch, I totally understand. No donation, no support is required. It's always appreciated. I like having you guys as lurkers, as chatters, certainly as subscribers and donators. But again, that buymeacoffee.com link, that's totally up to you guys if you want to go there and to offer some additional support for the channel. I am trying to do some things with scenery development professionally, but I understand it's going to take a while to do. In the meantime, guys, have a great rest of your night. Have a great rest of your week up ahead. I mean, tomorrow's already going to be Wednesday on the Eastern Seaboard for me. So, Lord willing, it's going to be a great week remainder. Like I always like to say, if you want true peace, you want the Prince of Peace in your life, and that's Jesus Christ. And I really do hope that you guys have a great week ahead. Thanks for tuning in. And again, feel free to check out the Discord link that I provided in chat if you guys want to follow along and see more of the scenery development journey. I have a couple of channels. There is actually some stuff that I'm hoping to do with the channel, with the Discord rather, soon. In the meantime, guys, have a great rest of your night. Take care. Enjoy. Thank you so much for stopping by. Really appreciate everybody that stopped by today, whether it was you guys just being curious or you coming in on the Kaon raid. Have a great evening. Take care of yourselves out there. All the best to you. And until next time.